Is Tyler Kolek the best point guard in the country?
No.
Some people would say he is, though, right?
Is he the best point guard in the Big East?
Some people would say he is, right? Like that's a thing. Like, do we accept that some people say Tyler Kolek is the best point guard in the country?
Is it because you're supposed to say that, or is he actually?
Well, I want to dissect that, but some people definitely say that. Can we accept that as a premise?
He's definitely in that conversation with a lot of people. Yes.
Okay. Is it okay for a guy who some people think is the best point guard in the country to go 1 for 13 from the floor in a game in 32 minutes at home against a Butler team with 5 losses in conference in a game you lose by 7? Is that okay?
No.
I think that should immediately disqualify him for ever being put back in the conversation. There are point guards in this country who would never do that and have never done that in their careers.
Yeah, well, I think you're forgetting some other details in this because it's not just this game. Because the last game, the clip that was circulating going around was Tyler Kolek warming up and letting fans know that they shouldn't talk to him because they don't want to poke the bear. He's not the one. They know what happens when you talk to Tyler Kolek. And he's followed that up with two absolute abominations of games, with this one being one of the worst games I've seen from a point guard that's considered to be one of the best in the country in a long time.
2 for 19 from the floor in their last 2 games for 7 total points in 2 Big East losses to 2 teams that aren't in the top 50 teams on KenPom. Like, huh? This Marquette team, I mean, give them credit for what they did last year. This was one of the best teams in the country during the regular season. They won the Big East. They won the Big East tournament. There are obvious reasons why everybody was so high on this group coming into this year. I I don't know that there's been a more disappointing team. Like, and I don't mean that disrespectfully. There's obviously been like teams that are bad. Like Michigan State, it is your team, and they dropped from the top 5 to not ranked. My team's Michigan, and it couldn't be a more disappointing season. So I don't want to come at it like we're attacking anything here. But like the reality is, this Marquette team should be performing way, way ahead of where they are. They're 2-3 in Big East play with losses to teams that just aren't even in the conversation with them caliber wise. Like, and Providence, I get it. At Providence, hard place to play. At Seton Hall, still clearly a hard place to play. Home to Butler, Cart? We're talking losing at home to, that's a loss that sticks on your resume and probably cost this team a seed line when we get to the NCAA tournament.
And it's also just the way it's happening. Like, you're getting Tyler Kolek not showing up. A Marquette team that prides themselves in defensive intensity and getting stops lets a team shoot 45% from the field, 46% from 3. Coming to your house and do that, by the way, I might add. And then you proceed to at home 5 for 31. 5 for 31. Cam Jones 1 for 10 in this game. David Joplin 3 for 7. Tyler Kolek 0 for 7 from 3. Ben Gold 0 for 3 from 3. Like, this was a truly just baffling performance at home against a Butler team, and I think it might be more reflective on who this Marquette team is than a one-off. We shouldn't react to this type thing. I just think that this Marquette team lost more than people give them credit or people want to actually acknowledge, and they can't withstand awful Tyler Kolek performances. I don't think they're unable to do it. I don't think they're able to do that.
I don't either. I think that's clear at this point. And look, I get we're being harsh on Tyler Kolek, who is a very good basketball player. He also asks for a lot of this. Like the way he carries himself asks for scrutiny and criticism if he doesn't back things up.
He's also stunk the last 2 games, and he would tell you that. So like
for sure.
I mean, come on. Like, I mean, yes, he had 8 assists in this game. There you go. He's 2 for 19 in his last 2 games. Like, what are we doing here?
For sure. I thought from watching this game, especially in the second half, I thought that this team couldn't make a shot. That's going to happen some nights, right? Cam Jones 1 for 10, Tyler Kolek 0 for 7 from 3. I mean, good luck. That's your starting backcourt going 1 for 17 from 3. If that happens, you're probably going to lose the game. But I thought the more concerning thing was I thought it affected their effort defensively. I thought it affected their energy. I just thought they looked like a totally deflated team. And Marquette is supposed to be such a veteran group, especially at home, that even if shots don't go in, you still expect to see them playing hard. It's a Shaka Smart team. And this is the first time this year I've been like, no, there's some quit in their eyes as Butler hung 24 points on them in the first 10 minutes of the second half. I was going to ask you, who does this say more about? Does this say more about Marquette or Butler? But I feel like your answer is Marquette pretty clearly, right?
Yeah, but also Butler's like a lot more impressive than I think people give him credit for.
Really? Okay.
Like like I think I think they're, they had UConn at home. They did. I know we're playing the moral victory game, and UConn has been not the same team without clinging, but like this Butler team, and credit to Thad Matta, I think he's done a good job of at least getting a good solid group of guys that on any given night can like hit shots and they
Yeah.
can win basketball games that way. So I think it is credit to them, but at the same time, it's more Marquette. Greg, just let me read this. This is funny because this box score breaks it down by half, and it is comical. In the first half of this game, Marquette shot 38% from the field, 8% from three, 1 for 12. Okay, let's come out the second half. Let's regroup at halftime. We're at home. We're Marquette. Let's come out. Let's fire. I'm Shaka. I'm halfway on the court. I'm a defender. Let's lock in, fellas. Second half, 27% from the field, 21% from three. Like how? They only shot
I
two
don't know.
free throws in the second half, too. And they went 1 for 2.
See, that's the thing to me is like I thought they let the missed shots just take them out of their game completely. And that would happen with a young team, I think. That would happen with just a bad team. A team as old and as good as Marquette is, you can't let missed shots affect everything else you're doing. And that's what they did tonight. And it cost them a home game they absolutely should win. This is a game card that's probably going to cost them in the Big East race. Like, you don't lose at home to Butler and win the Big East. You don't do
Yeah.
that this year. And this
Yeah.
team's already behind the eight ball. They're 2-3 now. I think we're going to see a totally different script to the season play itself out. Pierre Brooks is just really good. Also, I just want to say that I don't think he was like stellar this game, but again, 4 for 6 from three, 14 points. Pierre Brooks has been in double figures every single game this season. He has so many games with 3 or more made threes. I know that's one of your guys. He started at Michigan State. He left. We haven't really had this conversation, but I just want to say it right now. Michigan State could use exactly what Pierre Brooks is in a huge role right now.
Yeah, I think so too. But also I think Pierre Brooks wants to be in this role, and I don't know if that role would have even worked for him. The role wouldn't have worked for him at Michigan State this year. Like every single game, he's playing 30 plus minutes a game and shooting like leading the team in shots.
Yeah.
He just wouldn't have been able to do that at Michigan State. So would he have played 100%? Like he had thought 100% would have played. He probably would have been the first player on the bench and played a really good minutes. But yeah, I am happy for Pierre Brooks to like see him do well. Because I know he was pretty frustrated with his play at Michigan State and his role. So it's good to see that he is, flourishing. And I think he's an example of picking the right spot for somebody, and it's working out for him.
Yeah, it's an example of why the transfer portal works sometimes. And look,
Ah,
it's worked for Michigan State too. That's the thing, right? This isn't dissing Michigan State in any way. Michigan State's best 2 players last 2 seasons came from the portal. Pierre Brooks looks like a totally different player on a team at a different level that could use him. But I think a lot of the stuff with him was like, oh, he's not good enough at the high major level to be a guy. Not true. Like, he's one of the best scorers in the Big East, and now they're going on the road and he's leading Butler in scoring and beating Marquette. Like, there's a caliber level there that I think even earlier this season, you and I would not have said is there. He's still a mess defensively. And for that reason alone, he was never going to play for Tom Izzo, no matter how good he was offensively. If you're that bad defensively, it's not going to happen. But I'll just say it point blank. If Pierre Brooks was given Jaden Aiken's role on this Michigan State team, I think they're a better basketball team. I think he fits more with the other guys. He's just a pure floor spacer. If he was just shooting 8 threes a game, I think they're a better basketball team than running another 6 foot, whatever, small guard that has struggled with his shots at times this year.
I'll disagree on that one, but that's a longer conversation that we don't got
I
to
know
get
you
into
will.
on
I
this.
know you will. We'll have it another day. All right, Marquette. Butler, congratulations. Marquette, woof.